guys, today we've got Bridget Sloan, 2008 Olympian, 2009 world champ. Then she went to Florida, won a bunch of national championships, and now she's here with us. So those are the highlights. Bridget, the thing we say around here is own your journey. Kind of walk us through like your health and wellness journey.
So, I feel like my health and wellness journey was pretty generic for a gymnast. I started gymnastics when I was 4, and my parents had no idea what they were getting themselves into, nor did I. But it was kind of one of those going to the gym for the first day and never left. I pretty much had a regimen my whole life, thankful for my parents, all my siblings. They really supported me my whole journey. But the one thing that I think was key in my whole athletic career was my routine. I always had a routine, whether it was in the gym, outside of the gym. And I really kind of took that from my elite world into college. And then now as an adult, I still keep that routine.
Cool, so talk about the transition. So obviously everything was either towards national championship or world championship. What's your why now in regards to your health and wellness?
Oh gosh. Wow. My why, I think, would just be to kind of be the best version of who I am now. And I think that was really tough because as an athlete, I knew my why. My why was, get to the Olympics, become world champion, get to UF, and hopefully win titles. And when I graduated, finding my why was probably one of the hardest things I had to do. Because you go from having a coach, having people kind of tell you what to do, and then I graduated and it was like, well, what do you want to do? And I had no idea. So now I would say my why is just being the best version of myself and really just being an empower to other athletes, to young girls around the world. I've started coaching a little bit with a best friend of mine. So just kind of giving back to the community is something that's super important to me. And I would say that's kind of my why now.
Cool, so how do you keep on task? Like, do you set goals? I know you go to a CrossFit gym. Like, talk about the community aspect and how that kind of keeps you going.
Yeah, CrossFit is very funny to me simply because I swore it off for years and I actually used to make fun of people who did CrossFit. And here we are today, 3 years after joining CrossFit, and I love it. But the one thing that I love most about that is honestly the community. And it kind of makes me feel like I'm back in that gymnastics atmosphere. You look around, you see people that might be doing a little better than you, and you're like, that athlete comes out and you're like, I don't want them to beat me. So having that has been super helpful. It really just kind of gets me zoned in on the small goals. So my goal was always to just be healthy. And with CrossFit, it's the same. It's just be healthy, have fun, enjoy what I'm doing. And has done a great job of just helping me meet some of the greatest people, some of my closest friends I met through that gym, and some included right here next to me. But no, I think CrossFit in general, though, it really has taught me a lot about keeping that routine. It's helped me keep a routine.
So tell me about that moment when you compete in your last event and you realize, like, okay, I gotta go be an adult. Like, talk about that transition.
Yeah, that was probably the scariest moment of my life. You're at NCAA's, you're in the moment, you're so excited, the crowd is going crazy, and all of a sudden you land and you salute, you run back to your team, and you're like, oh my God, I never am gonna put on a leotard again. I'm never gonna compete again. And for me, gymnastics was part of my life for 20 years. I don't wanna say it was all I know or knew at the time, but it was all that I knew how to do. So for me, finding that identity was a little scary. It was scary, but at the same time, it was exciting. I took it as an opportunity to find out who is the real Bridget Sloan. Everyone knew her as this gymnast. No one really knew that I was, super social. I'm funny. I got jokes. And no one knew that because they just saw me on TV competing. They didn't. So this was my moment. This was my time to kind of show the world who I am. It took a long time. It did take a long time. And I really kind of let the process happen. I didn't rush it. I was so sad to leave Gainesville, and I moved up to Ohio, had no idea what I was gonna do. I ended up working for Lululemon for a little bit and then realized I wanted to get back down to Florida. But that whole process of kind of who am I it took a long time to kind of figure out who I am. So now, instead of saying Bridget Sloan, the gymnast, it's Bridget Sloan, empowering young athletes, empowering young women all across the world to be the best version of themselves. Because for me, that's what I looked up to. You know, I would look up to these athletes that were even on my team. I mean, Samantha Peshek, Alicia Sacramone, all people that were on my gymnastics team that ended their career a little bit earlier than me. And I saw them doing all of this amazing stuff. And I was like, I want to do that. So it was kind of realizing that I can and that it is possible. You know, having that journey and going through that. And it was cool to go on it and go through it by myself. So I didn't have, my parents were super supportive. They're like, whatever you want to do, we got your back, but you have to make that decision. So there were a lot of big decisions that were made in that time, but I'm so happy with where I'm at. I wouldn't change anything, all the ups, the downs, everything in between. But finding that identity, I think a lot of athletes find it so scary, and it is, it's terrifying. But if you look at it as an opportunity to get excited about the future, it really can be cool.
I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was scout team MVP at Virginia Tech. So I also had to make a transition. And I do remember that. I mean, I went to grad school and I still played intramurals, and like, so I still got my fix. Okay, yeah, I'm not a world champion. I get it. But once I got a 9-to-5, I had to like totally rethink my reasons for doing everything because I was so competitive. I wanted to win. That's all I wanted to do. So all of a sudden, when there's no more game to compete in, it's like I had to refocus. And yeah, it was tough.
It's scary.
I swore off. Like I was like, I'm never gonna work out again. I've been doing it my entire life. I'm over it. So talk about some of the barriers that you've had to overcome. Obviously, you know, you're in college, you're Olympic team, like this is what you do. This is your job. Now your job is to you know, go sell stuff.
Oh, that is true.
What barriers do you find, whether it be time, whether it be motivation? And how do you deal with those?
So the biggest barrier that I even face today is actually making my own schedule. For years, I had someone telling me, hey, it's time to get up. Hey, it's time for practice. When I would get to practice, here's your schedule, here's your regimen. And then I took a sales job and they were like, oh, you get to make your own schedule. I was like, that's awesome. What do I do? You know, it was like, I've never had that environment of you are in control, which was really cool. And it was very empowering for me to be able to do it because that allowed me to set those small goals. Being in sales, it really is all about setting those goals, getting those targets, and getting on track. And I actually think being an athlete helps me in that position. But yeah, the biggest hurdle after athletics was definitely not having someone tell me what to do. And that's why I love doing CrossFit, because someone tells me what to do. It's like, I feel like I'm back in that athlete atmosphere. I feel like I'm back to kind of Bridget Sloan, the athlete, and not Bridget Sloan, the saleswoman.
It's almost like you would need a virtual accountability coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, cool. So enough with the serious stuff. Now we're gonna do something. We got 60 seconds.
I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds. Set the clock. Rapid fire questions.
Oh God.
All right. First answer.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Do you have questions?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. You ready? Chick-fil-A or Polynesian?
Polynesian.
Moe's or Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Favorite movie line?
Decimus Maximus Meridius.
What's that from?
Gladiator.
Okay. You have to say it.
Oh, do you want me to say the whole line?
No. Favorite movie villain?
Ursula.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
What's the last song you listened to on your iPhone?
Oh God. Pass.
If you had an entrance song, what would it be?
It's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of great songs that would describe me.
One, go.
All I can think about is Get Low.
All right, perfect. Get Low, Lil Jon, Eastside Boys. There we go. All right,
fine.
favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
If you had one superpower, it would be?
To fly.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Bridget.
That's it. Woo! You're welcome.
All right.